Just clap once.
Okay.
Alright, this is so I can sync the audio.
Okay.
Alright, now let's do it.
All right, just let me know. Give me like a intro thing.
Well, there's no intro. You just say you're the catchphrase, essentially.
You want to really know what grinds my gears?
What grinds your gears?
The state of the world right now. Like, no, seriously. Like, just hear me out. So, if any of you listening out there don't know, I'm a longtime friend of Mark's. I've known him for about like 10 years at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Long
shit.
ass time.
It's been a while. Wait, am I allowed to swear on here?
Yeah, you can swear, nothing too crazy.
Well, like, are F-bombs prohibited, or is
You
it just like
you can do F-bombs, but don't do them consistently.
Oh, yeah, no, I got you. So if I just dropped shit back there, like, that's cool. All right.
That's cool.
All right. So anyway, like, so I've known Mark for 10 years, and obviously 2010 to 2020 are two very different times. Like,
oh yeah.
You told me when I was 10 years old that 2020 would look like this. I would say, bro, there's no flying cars. Because when I was like in 5th grade or some shit, everyone was telling me by like 2015, like Apple or Microsoft were going to team up with car companies, and the first flying car was going to be introduced because of Back to the Future, you know? Right? Like,
yeah.
that as a kid, like, that's what we thought. Like, that you thought that was going to be the shit. But what really grinds my fucking gears is, like, how much of, like, that fantasy world that 2020 was supposed to be is, like, the exact opposite. Like, we're in the middle of a goddamn global pandemic. The third wave of a civil rights movement, or no, like a 5th wave of a civil rights movement in this country at this point. Like, it's a disaster. And we have a clown in office who doesn't know how to do anything for himself. Like, and I don't know how political we're allowed to be or not.
Not too political, because you never know.
Never know. But I will openly say I am very active on my social media, shitting on Donald Trump. I cannot stand the man.
Shit.
He is a horrible human being. And yes, I get from both sides. Like, don't get me wrong. There are some Obama did some horrible things in office, like with the bombings in the Middle East and everything, and the drone attacks. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, every president has murdered people. Every president. So, people trying to discredit Obama's 8 years in office because of that, I think is ridiculous. Just because, like, he was a good president for for the time. Like, he brought us out of a recession, brought stability to the country after the malign tenure of Bush, right?
Yeah.
It's just, oh my god, I'm getting I am getting spam texted. I know this is so sidetracking, but anyone out there listening, I go off on tangents. I'm a talker, which is why Mark wanted me to do this.
Literally, because he makes everything good. Like, yeah, even if you talk about like football or something, he'll somewhat make it entertaining.
Well, I'm actually getting spammed out. I'm getting spammed on my phone because no one knows out there, but I actually work at a YMCA during the school year normally. Oh my god. Hold on, I'm just gonna turn my ringer off.
You're good.
I work at a YMCA, and what's it called? I had my site director, like the lady who runs the whole thingy, because with the whole pandemic, like the kids are coming back to school and everything in New York in a couple weeks. And we have to, like, reapply, I guess, for the Y, and they wanted us to list a bunch of new references. I needed 5... Mark, I was actually going to reach out to you, but I was trying to do family first, and then I needed a manager one. If I still needed more, obviously, I would have reached out to you. That's what I've been doing this morning. And I know you would have, fine, whatever.
Oh, of course. You could put me down. I really don't care.
I don't know if I need any more. They said I'm good because I have 6, so I'm good. I did 5 family members. 4 family members... Well, 3 blood relatives. Wait. I did my mom.
Fix your words.
Damn it! I'm trying to think. I did my mom and my uncle, who are blood related to me. Then I did my aunt, who is my mom's best friend since childhood. But I put her as relative because, like, she literally is family to me, and like everyone else. Then I put my my neighbor's mom, my neighbor across the street's mom. We've been family friends forever, but we're not related, so I just put other. And then who else did I put? Oh my god. Oh, I put my professor. That's who's been spam texting me.
Spam texting.
Yes. Oh my god. Yes. She literally said to me, "I just did it for you," and she said something about her kid, which I won't go into. And then she said, they asked me how likely I would consider a career at the YMCA, and she said, very likely, LMAO. You know, she's a professor. She works with kids. Well, not kids, but like, you know,
Yeah.
college kids can act like kids. And my professor, now wait, my professor roasted me. She told me they asked her a question and said, what are 3 areas you could improve? She said she wrote, shutting his mouth and not letting women walk all over him.
Oh.
Like, she just did the arcade motherfucking O. She arcade my ass.
She did you dirty.
She did me so dirty. I don't want to answer her right now. I just read that. I don't know if you heard
funny.
the ringing in the background, but that was what she was saying. Oh, all right. Sorry, get off on a tangent there, but back to the state of the world. Yeah, no, it's a absolute shit show. it's horrible. Like, I consider myself a humanitarian. I consider myself an environmentalist. I consider myself an activist. Like, I'm really trying to put my voice out there. For so long, I've, like, kept my opinions to myself. And, like, I would talk about it in, like, groups of friends of mine, but I would never, like, really voice my opinion. And with the pandemic and everything else going on, and then after the killing of George Floyd and the end of May, like, I just realized, I'm like, holy shit. Like, I can't sit by idly anymore and, like, not say anything. So I've been very active on, like, my Instagram, especially about, like, I mean, I don't, like, make, like, public posts, but, like, I'll, like, put stuff on my story on Instagram about it. Mark, I'm sure you've seen.
Yes, I have.
And I've been doing that the last, like, I don't know, what, 2.5 months now? And honestly, it feels so good. I had all the many conservatives slide in my DMs and start arguments with me about, like, Trump not being a fascist or racist or sexist or misogynistic or anti-LGBTQ community. And it just baffles me how these people defend him. I'm not going to go into all the policies and everything because we don't want to get too into it.
Yeah,
but
don't go too much.
What I will say is that people in this country are, it's not even like Republican versus Democrat. It's literally Trump versus anti-Trump. And anti-Trump, you gotta vote blue. And in my humble estimation, don't get me wrong, I think that the two-party system is one of, if not the most corrupt thing in politics in this country. I think the two-party system's rigged, and the elites control this country with their money backing it in. That's a whole other thing. But I would rather have to pick the lesser of two evils right now. That's what I have to do. I would never vote for him. I will openly say I am voting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris come November 3rd, right? That's election day this year, first Tuesday.
Is it November 3rd?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. You can look
that
up.
Oh, yeah,
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I also want to say, and like, people always say, like, oh, like, you, like, might say stuff on social media, but you don't back it up. I've openly called the councilman down in, Louisiana or whatever for the Breonna Taylor shit. I literally left, like, 8 voicemails. It kept transferring me to, like, a different councilman after different councilman. And I left them nice, long, scathing voicemails, basically telling them it's really fucked up that they're not doing anything. And it's been 5 months since she was murdered in her sleep, you know? Like, it's... Sorry, I was just drinking my coffee. It's just horrible to me. Like, it's disgusting. It baffles me. And I don't understand in this country how someone can sleep at night supporting that man. Now, I know millions and millions and millions of people do, and they will die for him. But the problem is they're so...
they're blinded.
They're blinded. They're ignorant. They're absolutely ignorant. Like, they're just... They are looking at the smoke show of Donald Trump, and they don't see what's really behind the mask. And if the last 4 years haven't been enough, imagine what another 4 will be. Like, I can't. I can't. Like, it could not, like, just when you think it could not get any worse, 2020 happened. Now,
yes, with everything going on, obviously.
Oh, everything. Oh, yes, 100%. And don't get me wrong. Like, the one thing that really pisses me off, that grinds my gears, is these conservatives or Trumpians, or whatever you want to call them, Trumpies, who support him are like, oh, he created the greatest economy in American history or the world's history. No, he didn't. Like, Let me make that very articulate for you. No, he did not.
Hell no.
You know who laid the groundwork and the foundation and was putting it up to the trajectory? Obama, because he pulled us out of the recession. Now, don't get me wrong. Trump only did help the economy get better. Yes. One of the major things that I absolutely agreed with Donald Trump with, and I know it sounds weird and gross for me after everything I've said about how much I hate him, being anti-globalization. I 100% support and agree with bringing jobs back in this country from overseas that Bill Clinton shoved out to China in the 90s because of globalization. I 1,000% agree with that. 1,000% agree with that. I do not like people losing their jobs because companies know that their factories will be a lot cheaper to run and function in China and here because they get free labor over there. And China's a whole other mess. Like, there's a whole genocide going on over there right now, which is a disgusting thing, and nobody's talking about it. Like, I don't know, like, the details off the top of my head, but I do know there's, like, a certain what's the word I'm looking for? All right, a certain group of Muslims in China that are basically being sent to these concentration camps and labor camps and are being killed and starved to death and treated like absolute shit, making them to renounce their religion. And it's a Holocaust in China. No one's batting an eye. And the Republicans are using this as a whole thing, like the conservative majority here in America, saying, oh, look, the media is not covering it. And yeah, that's despicable. I know the whole media in the United States right now is covering Donald Trump and like trying to shed light on how awful he is. But when something like this is going on, you have to talk about it too. Like, I'm sorry, but like if you're talking about the lesser, like they're both evil and despicable in their own ways, and they both deserve the limelight for the matter because they're the UN. Everyone, they should be fucking batting down China and stopping this because I would not be surprised if a World War III doesn't spark in the next 4 or 5 years, and I'm dead serious. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S. engulfs itself in a second civil war before 2021 hits.
Most likely, either a civil war is gonna happen, or I know
a revolution or coup.
No, even worse, like Great Depression standards. Like, I know we've been there. Like that was like in the middle of COVID too.
Oh
but
yeah, no, it's bad.
But now it's like it's even getting worse from that point because people aren't spending their money. I think I saw on the news this morning like people haven't been spending as much literally since COVID. So like, we've been going down and down and down. That we're going to be even worse than what it was before.
Oh, I agree. And honestly, okay, here's my thing. People talk about Biden not being fit for office. Dude, look at Trump. Is he fit for office? Is he mentally stable to be president of the United States? No. I can't even say that without laughing. No. Is Sleepy Joe either? I mean, if Trump is, he is, you know? Like, do I personally think these two should be our main candidates for the United States presidential candidate office? For office of the United States? Absolutely not. It's horrible. How the hell do we have a country of what, like 350 million people? And we have these two assholes as our candidates for president. Like, how do we have this motherfucker in office right now, running his re-election bid, and then dumb going against him? Like, there are so many extremely intelligent, young even too. Like, I'm not talking about like 25 years old. Like, you have to be 35 to run for the office of the president of the United States. Like, politicians in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, hell, even early 60s would be young compared to these two, right? Like, there's so many bright young minds or middle-aged minds in this country, and we're stuck with Dumb and Dumber, and Dumber being Trump. Like, it's insane to me how we are stuck with this choice. And people are saying, oh, like, yeah, you can't really vote for Joe, and the Democrats are going to make him forced to resign and then promote Kamala Harris to ascend to the office of the president's seat, right? Like, even if that happens, honestly, would that be such a bad thing? Because we'd actually have a stable-minded person in office who would bring stability. Now, do I agree with everything Kamala Harris has done in the past? No, of course not. No politician is perfect. But I would rather have 4 years of Joe/Kamala Harris than Biden, than Trump and Pence any day of the week. Any day of the week. And let me tell you something out there. I doubt there's going to be a massive amount of people listening to this, but I don't care what side of the aisle you vote from. If you hate every word coming out of my mouth right now, go vote for Trump. Go vote for him. If you agree with me, go vote for Joe. Because I would rather you use your right as an American citizen to vote and voice your belief than not do anything at all. I believe not voting is the worst thing an American citizen can do as a citizen of the United States. Because what? Only 120 million people voted in the 2016 election, because it was Hillary had what was it, 66 or 65 million for the popular vote versus Trump's 62 or something. That's only a third of the country that voted. A third of the country voted. That's crazy to me. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. If you have an opinion and you're over 18 and you're registered, if you aren't registered to vote, go fucking register to vote, please. I don't care. If the majority of Americans believe that Trump is better fit for office, then go vote for him. But I guarantee you it's not. I guarantee you Biden's going to win come November 3rd. And one other thing I want to mention, too, what really, really, really grinds my gears right now is the whole postal office controversy. He's like, oh, if you could protest in person, you can vote in person. Shut the fuck up. They're not protesting just for their right to vote by mail, which has always been a thing, mind you. They're protesting for the people who are too scared to come out of their homes to vote because of the pandemic. These people have a right to vote. And they're the Republicans on Fox fucking News are like, the fraud, blah, blah, blah. Go look at the numbers. Go look at the goddamn number. You know how low of a percentage it is for the people who are dead that get registered, that get their votes counted for the fraud? It's less than 1%. Less than 1%. 800 people or some shit. I saw a study. Obviously there's oopsies in the system, but if it's that low of a number, no race in any state is that tight where that is going to affect it. I'm sorry, no system is perfect, but they need to be able to vote at home. Absolutely. Why are we taking money away from the fucking postal service? They have been there through everything. Every major, the fucking pandemic, the mail was still coming around, right? The people don't understand, how important the mail system is. That's why it's a big deal in the Constitution, in our legal system, of how the mail is, and the United States Postal Service is structured into our government. It's a big deal, and these stupid conservatives and Trump supporters they're taking money away from it, and all these people who get medication in the mail and communicate with people through the mail and do stuff through the mail. It's blasphemous to me. It's insane. It's just absolutely crazy. It really grinds my goddamn gears. We have a literal fascist wannabe, or basically trying to become a goddamn dictator in this country, Donald Trump. He's like, oh yeah, the FBI illegally spied on my campaign. Yeah, you're the first person the FBI illegally spied on. Boo fucking who? I guarantee you they spied on Obama, they spied on Bush, they spied on Al Gore, Bill Clinton, Bush Sr., Reagan, what's his face that ran against Reagan? I can't remember. In '84, but nobody liked him. Carter, I put money on. Oh hell, Kennedy when he was running because he was so young, the FBI had it out for him, and the CIA. That's why he got killed. I 100%. I'm not a conspiracy nut, but I 1,000% believe that the federal government assassinated JFK. And I will say that out loud. I do not care. I know the FBI is going to release it one day anyway because it's public information. But it'll be so far in the future, it won't matter. But we all know it's a massive conspiracy. People can believe whatever they want about the JFK assassination, but because there's so much evidence going in all directions. But I believe most of the evidence stacks up that the federal government had their hands on it and covered up their dirty work by killing what's his face, who assassinated him when he was going. What was he about to go have his interview or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they killed him on his way in the 100% government setup, 1,000%. Because I guarantee you, if he was able to sit down and speak his voice, he was probably edged out of his motherfucking mind, and he would have spilled the beans, which is why they killed him.
Mm-hmm.
I would put money on it. Money on it. Motherfucking money on it. But I digress from that point. Oh, wait, just out of curiosity, how long do these things usually run for, Mark?
Oh, no. What I usually do, I just do the whole thing first, and then I just break it down into segments. Like, if you actually look at my YouTube channel, that's what I kind of did.
But I never got a chance to last night. I literally knocked, and then I got up this morning, and I've been doing a bunch of phone calls and stuff, like, college financial aid and doctor's appointments and doing all these damn references and everything.
Jobs. Which I'm going to lean into something now, actually. Dealing with that.
Yeah.
You want to know
section!
You want to know what grinds my gears?
Interviews!
Well, yes and no. Well, I'll go into the interviewing. I'll go into the interviewing later. But before the interview, blah blah blah. I can't even speak. Before interviewing, it's always job hunting.
Oh my god!
So we're gonna go into that first before we go into the interviewing steps. So
I'm gonna be listening. Are you going off now? Are you about to go off?
I'm gonna go off. Yes, in a way, yes, but I don't know how long it's going to go.
We'll see. So you're actually gonna talk nonstop like I just did for 20 minutes or half hour or whatever?
We'll see.
Yeah, please. I'm gonna be listening. I'm just gonna answer my text, but like I can listen to someone and text at the same time, so don't worry. I know I don't have to say that, but I just want to give you that respect, like to let you know, because I know you physically can't see me right now, but I'm letting you know I'm still listening. My boss just texted me from the Y, so.
All right.
Oh wait, she said she didn't do that. She said she didn't write shutting his mouth and not letting women all walk over them. She said she was kidding. I didn't even answer her yet, but she sent that too.
That's funny though. Like if my reference did that, I'll be like, "Excuse me, I know I don't even do that." All right, but anyway, going back to job hunting now. So apparently, in today's society, as a whole, I would say there's this little phrase, I guess you want to say. It's it's not what you know, it's who you know. And personally, that just pisses me off to no end. There are people who are very, very smart and still don't get the job. I would say me personally. I've had that experience.
Narcissism. Nah, sorry. Yeah.
No, but it really does pisses me off. There are I'm just gonna give an example. Let's start with this. Let's say I don't know, this Joe Bill Bob and John Dill did something. I don't know. They're applying for the same goddamn job of something. I don't know. So let's say the first person that I mentioned, Joe Bill Bobo, Bibby Bobo, whatever. He matches the job description. He might be even overqualified for the job. And then you have the other person who knows nothing at all about the job, but knows the hiring manager of the branch or whatever. So who do you think would get the job? So unfortunately, the second person will get the job because of connections. And I believe that shouldn't be. That's complete bullshit.
Oh, yeah. That's just how the world works, Mark.
This is what I think, though. It shouldn't be like that.
Oh, I agree. Oh, yes.
If you're very, very smart, you should be able to land a job easily.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm just gonna interject here because I agree with you. Dude, let's just say you're a fucking Yale student, whatever. No, not even that. We'll get to that in a second. Let's just say I go to Shulio Westbury here in New York on Long Island. I'm an ed major, so I'm gonna eventually they have good connections with their schools or whatever. I'm probably going to. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm probably going to be more likely to get a job than other people applying to the same schools just because of my connections with Old Westbury. And don't get me wrong, like, I appreciate it. And obviously, I'm going to use it to my advantage because hunting for a teaching job is especially hard. But I don't agree with how that system should work. Like, it's really messed up. But, like, I'm obviously going to take the advantages that I can. Like, I need to be able to support myself someday. But, like, let's just say you and me are both applying for the same job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just say you and I are both applying to a job to be a waiter at a restaurant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say, for me, obviously, no offense, I have the advantage. I worked at a Friendly's for a year. I waited for 7 months and did Fountain for 5. Fountain, if you don't know, is just making the ice cream at Friendly's. Also, I will say this out loud, fuck Friendly's. They can suck my dick.
Friendly's is dying, by the way.
Oh, yeah, no, it's dying. Master Peak was good.
No, but I know there's Friendly's shutting down somewhere close.
Yes.
I don't remember where, though.
I believe there's the one in Levittown closed a while ago.
That was probably it then.
Yeah, it was the one on Hempstead Turnpike. Like literally they knocked the whole building down. Like it's gone. They're doing construction over there. They keep the building. Like the one in Massapequa on Broadway. Like they actually kept the building. They just like restructured it into that Italian restaurant or whatever the fuck's there now.
Yeah.
But like. They knocked down the building, Mark. Like it's gone.
Yeah, I heard they're supposed to like replace it with like a Sonics or something.
A what?
Like a Sonics, like a fast food joint.
Sonics.
That's what I heard.
Sonics, like Sonics,
like the food, the fast food place.
Yeah, Sonic, like Sonic the Hedgehog. It's not plural, Mark.
Oh, I thought it had an S on.
No.
I legitimately.
Oh, please clip that. Clip that.
Clip the clip.
No, but yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's really fucked. Like, let's just because I think let's go back to the waiter example because I think it's a perfect example. Let's just say you and I both apply to like a really nice Italian restaurant in the city, right? Like, because here's the thing, like. If you already don't know, there's already bias because Italian restaurants like that only hire male waiters. Like it's a tradition thing. Like it's very sexist, but like if it's a very prim and proper place, they only hire male waiters. It's really about handling it, which is total bullshit. Because let's be honest here, like women can handle it just fine. Like just because they might be PMSing or whatever the fuck sexist thing you want to say. Like trust me. There's plenty of women out there who can handle being a goddamn waitress at a fancy Italian restaurant. But anyway, that's not my point. Say next week you and I both go in for interviews at this place, right? And you have your references, I have mine. It's a really nice restaurant, so they pay $20 an hour. Because I don't know if you know this, but like obviously waiters in New York do not make minimum. When I was a waiter at Friendly's, I made like $7.25 an hour, and then plus tips. Like
they factor in like a certain amount of the tips.
Yes, minimum wage was $12 an hour at the time when I was waiting, and now it's $13. Like, what? Like, whoa, what? That's ridiculous, right?
It's a good thing though, to be honest.
I don't know.
At least for waiters.
No, it's really not. Oh wait, I dropped my remote. Oh no! Wait, did I fuck up my headset?
No, you're fine. I hear you.
Okay, sorry. I dropped my Xbox controller, but it didn't unplug for some reason. Like as a waiter, let's just say I worked like 25 hours in 1 week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say I worked let's make it 24 hours so it's an easy even number. So let's just say I did 3 8-hour shifts, right?
Yeah.
And one shift I did. Let's just say I did 3 shifts from 2 o'clock to 10, right? So I did the prime dinner hours, which is 5 to 8, if you guys don't know that. And let's just say I worked a Monday night, a Wednesday night, Wednesday night, Friday night, right? Monday night, I'm obviously making the least amount of money, because who goes out on a Monday night to like a Friendly's, right?
No one does.
No one does. Wednesday night, unless there's a school event going on where all the kids come out and get ice cream with their mommy and daddy. And then Friday nights, the weekend nights are really big. Friday nights are huge. Saturday nights are huge. Sunday, the first 2 hours, like 5 and 6 o'clock, are huge on Sundays because it's school night for the kids. So like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, you won't see as much of a roll in as you would on a Friday or Saturday. But let's just say on Monday night, I made $110 in tips, right? Working 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday night was a slower night. I only made 90. And then Friday night, I made really good, and I made like 175, right?
Yeah.
Now, they take money, they tax you on your tips, and they take money off your paycheck based off of how much tips you make. It's a whole thing. That's why it's 7 an hour instead of 12. That's why you cannot survive on as a waiter in this country. Like, cannot by yourself. Like, it's impossible. And a waiting job, you should be able to. You should be making minimum wage, and you should not be taxed on, like, excuse me. Yes, you should be taxed on your tips. No, the restaurant should not be taking money out of your tips. That's what the whole thing is, with taking the money out of your... Because, like, I would work 24 hours in 1 week, and I would make, like, $40 on a paycheck. But don't get me wrong, like, the tips, like, obviously added up for it, and, like, it helps. But, like, you can't always rely on tips. Because I've had people bounce tables and I get no tips. Or they'll tip me really shitty because they're cheap assholes. Like, it doesn't matter.
I'm only going to tip this guy $1.
Right. Like, I had, when I was working at Friendly's last summer, I was closing helping close last night. I had to clean the service aisle or whatever. And I had the last customers come in. Like, we weren't taking any more tables. And this couple came in their 20s. We sat them right by the kitchen, so it was easy in and out. They wanted to just order ice cream, right? They ordered like an appetizer and ice cream. Now, the most popular app at Friendly's at night is like the Munchie Mania, where like you'll get 3 different appetizers like on a plate. Like you can do like the mozzarella sticks, the wing, a chicken, or like quesadilla or whatever.
So it's like a little
you can mix
platter.
them up. Right. And people usually do that and share it. It's the most expensive one. Actually, fun fact, it's the only app that does not do the cheaper apps after 8 o'clock or whatever, or 9 o'clock. It's the only one that doesn't count. And I had arguments with my tables. It's like in the disclosure thing. Oh.
Yeah, customers do be pain in the asses sometimes.
Yes. But this table had like a $25, $30 bill, right? Because they got the app, which was like $15, and it was like a $30 bill. And like each ice cream was like 7 and change, so like the bill was like 31 or some shit, right, with tax and everything. Mm-hmm. And they bounced. They paid the bill, didn't leave me a penny. And I didn't break $100 that night because of that. Like if they gave me like the $7 you give on a $31 tip, or the $6, like if you're being nice or whatever, right? Like I would have broke 100. Like, people don't understand, like, waiters do not make as much as people think. It's literally based on tips. It's solely based on tips. Like, if you can't tell by now, I'm a very good people person. Like, I'm very good at talking. I'm very good with people. I had people come into the restaurant and request me when I wasn't there to, like, serve them, right? Like, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that waiters don't make enough money. Now, Friendly's scarred me for life. Like, I will never go in the waiting job again unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah. Fuck Friendly's. That's
fuck Friendly's. No, seriously. Like, the GM that was there was fine. She was good at her job. She took it very seriously. She had no life outside of Friendly's. But I'm not going to say names, because I'm just going to leave it. I'm not even saying what Friendly's I worked at, but because it could be anyone on Long Island. Yeah. So I'm not going to say anything. But, like, a friend of mine who I went to high school with started working there a month before I did, and she became like best friends with the manager, and she sucked at waiting, or she hated it, or whatever, both. Either way, she didn't like it. She didn't like waiting, so they promoted her to be assistant manager, and then eventually a regular manager, right? Yeah. So, and she's 18, 19 years old and managing a fucking restaurant. You want to know how stupid this bimbo was? Goddamn, would fucking take money from the waiters, because, I don't know if anyone knows how it works, but you take, So, like, when the day's done, right? Because sometimes what happens is people don't tip in cash, they tip on a card. So, you don't get that cash to the end of the night. Like, the restaurant will owe you money, or you'll owe the restaurant money, right? Like, depending on how you cash your checks out and everything, right? Because if you close a check and don't put the cash in the register and you're carrying like the $70 on you that they gave you with the tip, like you're only able to keep the tip. You obviously have to give like the $60 back to the restaurant, right? So you like I had a couple nights I'm sure where I had like $500-600 on me and I had to give back like $450 of it and I walked out with $150 in my pocket, right? Or all my customers paid with card and I had no money on me except like the money I brought to break change, and the restaurant owed me like $150 or something, right? Like it feels really good. See that when you're doing when you're sitting there in the back after you're done and you're filling out all the paperwork to do tips and everything. But anyway, this bitch who worked at Friendly's, I don't care, she would take the money that like people owed the restaurant or whatever, like after you fill out the paperwork, she'd hide it throughout the restaurant. Instead of going to put it in the safe, because she was too busy, she would hide it in the service aisle or in the kitchen somewhere in the back because she was too busy. And then she'd fucking forget where she put it, and she would spend hours procrastinating going to find it in the goddamn restaurant. So she wouldn't be out of there till 4 a.m. some nights. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, no. Like,
that's kind of
ridiculous. Yes, it's stupid, and I'm 90% sure she's still working there as a manager. Like, how are you managing a restaurant, sweetie? You're the reason why I quit. And I will say this out loud now, and I don't care. All my friends know. She treated me like shit. Absolute shit. I did my job there perfectly adequate. Above and beyond, I would say. I always went above and beyond. Constantly covered for people when they needed me, whether I was working on fountain or serving. I didn't care. The reason why I quit is because, and I was already dealing with enough shit because one of the waiters hated me there, and he's a piece of shit human being. Zach, if you're out there and hearing this, fuck you, you're a pussy. But,
yeah, that's
it's
right,
really funny.
Zach.
And no, it's really funny. Zach had this guy Zach had a fling with this manager too. Like I'm pretty sure they were dating. I heard they were dating at some point. But like Zach always gave me shit. And oh my god, I almost slipped and said her name. But she always took his side or give me shit. Like he would absolutely belittle me every time he worked. Every little thing he would just find a way. Even if I had nothing to do with it, he would still scream me and treat me like shit. He wouldn't even treat me like a human being. Like it was disgusting. But anyway, so, like 2 weeks before I quit, they asked, like a week before I quit, they asked me to come in on a Saturday. Like the manager, the girl manager who's like 19 years old, asked me if I can come in on a Saturday, and I said, I don't think I can. Like I have a family thing going on. Let me just check with my mom. And then I texted my mom, and she said, no, we had a family thing going on. And I was like, oh, okay. So I told her, I keep almost saying her name. I told the manager that I couldn't come in. And she was like, okay. And then they put the schedule out for that week, and I wasn't put on for that Saturday. Then I took a picture of it that night before I left, that Sunday or whatever. And they changed the schedule like they always do, and they don't tell people like they always did. And then, there's a bunny. There's a bunny in my backyard. I'm looking out the window. Oh, it's so cute, frolicking. Sorry. And, what's it called? So I get a text. No. First I got a call from the girl my age I went to high school with that Saturday asking me where I was. And I said, what are you talking about? She says, I asked you if you come in. You said yes. I said no. I said I couldn't come in, not that I could. And I wasn't on the schedule. And she's like, yes, you are. I said, no, I'm not on the original schedule. I was not on it. And she just hung up on me because she was pissed. So then, like 5 minutes later, I get a text from my manager, like the GM, like the one lady who really runs the whole restaurant. Yeah. She's like basically the highest thing that's not the goddamn owner of the building, right? She texts me and she's like, so you're not like, she basically says to me like, you're like failing to come into work, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I said, yeah, I told Kayla, damn it, I said her name. Her name's Kayla, the girl my age. And I said, I told her like I couldn't come in and you put me on the schedule. I was not on the schedule. She's like, yes, you were. And I'm like, that's not the original schedule. And I said, I can't come in. She's like, you're suspended from the schedule. And I said it indefinitely. I said, how long's that? Like, I said, if I'm suspended indefinitely, I'm just going to give you my 2 weeks. And she's like, if that's what you're considering, this is my email. Just send it. And it's so funny. Earlier that goddamn day, that Saturday before Kayla called me that night, in the afternoon, I saw one of my best friends that came home from college. And I had like a heart-to-heart and telling her how miserable I was at Friendlies. And she said to me, Jonathan, go give your 2 weeks. You're fucking miserable. You're already working another job. You don't need Friendlies anymore. And I was like, you're so right. So I went to go to Friendlies to give my 2 weeks, and Julie, who's the GM, wasn't there. This other girl, Amanda, was managing. So she was wondering why I was there. I was like, oh, no reason. The reason why I was there, Amanda, because I was going to tell Julie I'm quitting. Haha. I was thinking about it for weeks already. I was so done. I can't tell you how many times I cried at Friendlies. Fucking cried. I would go in the back in one of the storage closets for the dry storage where they have like the, the M&Ms and the Reese's Pieces and the peanut butter that's unopened. I go back there and legitimately have full-on panic attacks, anxiety attacks. I'd be crying. That's because of how shitty they treated me there. Like, I was the sponge. I soaked everything up. Whenever Kayla screamed at me, whenever Zach screamed at me, for nothing. I would always soak it up and deal with it. I wouldn't say anything. But it got to a breaking point where the last day I worked, which was that Sunday, where Kayla asked me to come in and I told her I couldn't, Kayla was giving me shit about something that wasn't even my goddamn problem. And I was like doing a couple tables at the time, and I still had like half my section was still dirty. Like I didn't clean the tables off yet because I've been busy. And I was getting a bus bucket and everything and the rag, and I was going out to clean them. And she started giving me shit, and I spit back. I spoke back and said, like, I don't like you treating me like that. Like, I said, like, don't fucking talk to me like that. I said, I'm like, don't fucking talk to me like that. And I started walking down the service aisle, and she's like, Jonathan, you're so lucky you're walking out right now, or I throw whatever the fuck she was holding at the time. I was going to throw this right at you. I'm like, really, bitch? Really? You're going to throw something at an employee? Like, you're going to try to physically assault an employee? Bitch, you're lucky you didn't, because I would have pressed motherfucking charges.
Technically, you could have sued.
Oh, yeah, but, like, why am I going to... That's so stupid. It's not worth my time.
Get money.
Yeah. Nah, she dropped out of college before even starting. She's on path to have a miserable life. So, it's her own choice. So, she wants to be a shitty person to me. She can live with it. I'm going to get a nice education and be a teacher. And it's going to be great. But she can be stuck... I heard she wants to be go into management, being a hotel manager. Ew. Yeah, that's the fucking life, right? But, sorry about the whole thing. But yes, going back to jobs. Like, it is absolutely terrible. Like, you shouldn't have to, like, have all these inside cues and reference, like, the connections you have. Like, references are one thing, but connections, like, my daddy is the owner of so-and-so who knows so-and-so who knows so-and-so. And I think that my daughter or my son can do better than anyone else that you have applying. Right? Like, no. No. Meanwhile, Mark's over here with his goddamn computer science and whatever the fuck else from Farmingdale, motherfucker, and they won't hire you because you don't have the inside connections, which is totally bogus, bro. Bogus.
It is completely bullshit.
Bullshit. Like, I believe someone should be hired based off of their qualifications. Are you qualified for that job?
Yeah, even if you're overqualified for the job, we'll still...
Yeah, if you're overqualified, why wouldn't they want you? Why is that a reason not to hire someone?
I've had, like, actual phone calls saying, oh, I'm sorry, you're a little overqualified for this job. Like, I've had
overqualified?
And I'm just okay.
like what? Because you demand a higher salary? Like, what? He needs a job, bro. You're hiring. He's clearly more than fit for the job. Give the motherfucker his job.
Exactly.
Why do you give it to someone
pisses me off.
Yeah, that grinds my gears too, Mark. That grinds my gears too.
Might as well just change this to grinding my gears instead of rampaging rants.
Oh,
that'd be pretty funny though. Just in the middle, of me, like just changing completely.
Society sucks.
Yes, society does suck.
All right, ready for this? You can clip this. Ready? Our society, whack. Our government, whack. People hiring for jobs, whack.
Sounds suitable, yeah.
People, whack. like,
Like,
people not being accepted as equal in this country, whack.
but yeah.
People with connections getting jobs ahead of people who are overly qualified for the same position, whack. 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 Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That, that.
God,
that
all those
bothers
mixed
me.
emotions.
Ah.
Oh God, please don't do that again.
Bro, I hear enough moaning in my house as it is, so I've perfected the art.
Okay,
Like,
going on.
moving on. I just want to make this clear. It is not me doing the moaning.
Okay,
I
just making
wanna make
sure.
that clear. Oh yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
Hearing someone else having sex in your own house is like the grossest thing ever.
Oh yeah.
Like, isn't it so nice to have someone have a 4 a.m. booty call in your house and you hear the whole house shaking, right?
It's yeah. It's like
And
one
you
of those
hear,
memes. Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
I don't want
the.
to fucking hear that. I want to fucking sleep. Like, that grinds my gears. And then I can't say anything. So,
It's like one of those
It's fucking
memes.
retarded.
It's like it's 4 a.m. time for your booty clap or something like that.
yeah, time for that motherfucking 2 a.m. booty call. You know what I'm saying? No, like, dead ass. This guy comes in. It's my mom's friend who lives here. She's a boyfriend. He comes in 12 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, 4 o'clock in the morning to clap some cheeks. And
That's so disturbing.
It echoes through the whole house. My TV in my room is right under it. So if I'm up, I'll just raise the
Oh
volume.
no. I feel bad for
care.
you actually.
I
Like,
don't want to
no
hear it.
joke.
It's been almost 2 years, Mark. Like, it was happening last night, and it's disgusting. Like, I don't want to hear it. And like, she's like 58 or 60 years old or some shit. Like, not like she's young. Like, it's kind of gross to think about. Like, it's disgusting. And my brother has like his gaming room right up on top, so he has to hear it too. And like, he'll tell me his friends on Xbox or whatever, be like, "Yo, are you listening to Pornhub?" He's like, "No." No, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
That's
yeah.
funny though.
Yeah, but all right, let's move on.
All right, so obviously, after the job hunt, you go to the interview. Let's get to the
Yes.
interviewing step now.
Oh, the interview process. Oh.
So,
Oh, God. Oh, Mark, please
for
indulge
some,
me.
so for some people, it's a little different. For some companies at least. Like first, you have to go through their HR, which I completely understand. Like sometimes they're really nice. They're straightforward, nice to the point. They're like, oh, do you want this date to be like, oh, well, talk again, like here, just for like your proper interview. And then you get another call after that saying, oh, we have another interview with the hiring manager. And then they go for that. But literally, the thing that really goddamn grinds my gears, they ask the same questions. Both the hiring manager and the goddamn HR. And
Oh, 100%.
I don't know why this pisses me off, but it does. Like, shouldn't you relay what the questions like you've already said to the person?
Yeah.
Like, it
Absolutely.
just to me that doesn't make any sense.
No, I agree. I agree.
And then like all
100% I agree.
all the paperwork that you have to sign for and all of that stuff. Like,
Yeah,
that,
what the fuck is with that?
I
How many
don't-
times do I have to sign?
I don't understand.
can't
It's like going back to your YMCA thing. It's like, why would they ask you to fill out another form just to be rehired?
Like, I don't even know if I had to fill out another form. All I had to do so far was just get references, and they had to fill out a bunch of stuff. Like, I didn't have to fill. I had to put in their information for the references, like, you know, their relation to me, their number, email, whatever, first name, last name, like that stuff.
Yeah,
That was the easy part. It was just like they actually had to fill out the form. It's like about me, like whatever the fuck. I haven't actually seen it, but they said it doesn't take long, so.
yeah, but they
but
should have
still.
everything on their record.
Right. like I used references when I first got hired a year and a half ago. Like, okay, I started working at the YMCA in March, the middle of March of 2019. Like March 17th or something was my first day. Obviously I was almost working there for a full year, and then Friday the 13th happened in New York with the pandemic shutting everything down. It was gonna be two days, and it turned to 2 weeks, and then haven't gone back since. But we're going back now, and obviously, from what I understand, it's gonna be very different. Like, obviously, we're all gonna have to wear masks. I better not have to wear gloves. Like, I'm 100% cool wearing a mask. I'm all for that, but I think gloves are useless. And wearing gloves for 4 hours straight, do you know how sweaty your hands are gonna get? That's only makes it more, like, not good.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
we just have to constantly wash our hands or use hand sanitizer. Like, that's fine. Like, gloves are just putting another layer of skin on, basically. Because you touch anything, you touch yourself. Like, gloves are,
Yeah.
you gotta properly. Like,
They ask you like, do not touch your face. Like they tell you like, do not touch your face with gloves on. Do not do certain things with your gloves on. It's just like
people
being
aren't
in the
gonna do
food
that.
business too.
Right,
Like
but
you
people
can't
aren't
do
gonna
that.
do that. No, you really can't. Like, the mask actually is effectively, like, able to do stuff.
Yeah.
Like, actually, masks makes it easier because, like, you can't even touch underneath your mask because, like, you're with your face, your hands.
Yeah. But then
Like,
what are the interviewing questions? Let's go into that because we are still on this interviewing phase.
I have never had like a serious interview. Like, I've had interviews for jobs, obviously, but I feel like they're low balls compared to probably shit you've done. You know?
Like I've been on like just past month and a half, maybe two
Yeah.
months. Like I've had almost 9, 10 interviews. About most of them say, "Oh, sorry, you're not really up this suitable for the company or whatever," which I totally understand. Like maybe I wasn't as qualified as I thought, or something like that, because of like
Right.
one minor thing. Which again, to me that makes total sense. As I bang my microphone.
I didn't hear it, so
Oh,
you're
okay,
good.
good.
No, you're so good.
All right. But anyway, the questions that they ask are kind of like they pull up like an actual form. Like they'll be like, "Oh, we have these few questions for you to ask," and like some of them are reasonable like questions. Like, "Oh, what made you apply for this job? What are your strengths and weaknesses?" Like
Right.
your standard interviewing questions.
And those are perfectly fine. Like, are you talking about? Like, are you gonna
And
go
then
into like the curveball questions?
yes, and no, here's where the
Okay.
curveball comes in.
Yeah.
So I think it was 2 interviews ago or 3 interviews ago.
Oh
They
boy.
asked more about my personal life than anything, and I
Like,
was
okay,
just weirded out by that.
okay. What questions do they ask about your personal life? Because I mean, it's good to ask questions, but like certain questions.
So the few questions that I've been asked were more based upon like, what do you do outside of work? Like they like it's like flirting with someone in a way.
Mm. So, like, what were they asking you? Like, what your social life's like?
Was like, well, yeah, essentially like social life. Well,
That's
like,
none
do
of their
you do
business.
this? Do you do that?
That's
And
none of
then
their business.
yeah, but they still ask it.
How did you answer?
I well, usually what I usually do, I would not recommend for anyone to do this, but what I do, I just say, oh, I just do this and that. I stay away from that gaming topic because I'm sure that's what they're looking for. Like if you're a gamer, it'd be like, well, maybe you're not really suitable for this.
Yeah, it's not socially acceptable for someone to
So
play
that's what
Xbox and come home from
I
work.
personally say. Like I do golf. Like I used to do golf, so that is like a half truth.
Oh, I totally fucking lie. I mean, like,
Um,
no, not totally fucking lie. I'd be like, oh, I'll just hang out with my friends or go to houses. Like, do I do that all the time? No, but I make it sound like I do it all the time. Like, when I'm free or whatever.
yeah,
Or, oh, like, go walk my dogs or go to the gym. Or those are things I do, like, before the pandemic. But those are things I used to do. I still walk my dogs when I can, obviously. But, like, going to the gym's not really a thing anymore. But, like, it's starting to become a thing again. But I don't know if I'm really gonna go back to the gym until, like,
Or make
you
your
don't
own
have to
gym.
wear a mask at the gym. Yeah, I was
It's
thinking
cheaper
about that.
technically.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, no, I agree. hundred
Yeah, they
percent.
shouldn't be asking about your personal life.
No, no, not at all.
They should just
It's.
stay to the job. Like, ask
Yep.
more job related questions. Like, don't go into other tangents. Like, if you ask about, like, oh, what's your greatest challenge or whatever, like, that makes sense. You're asking something job related. But if you're asking about, oh, what are you doing this Sunday or something like that, and be like, well, this isn't really pertaining to what I'm applying to.
Right.
It makes the situation worse than it already is. You try like it's like trying to purposely make you uncomfortable during the interview process,
No, I agree.
and that shouldn't be the case.
No, 100 million%.
Yeah, but that was my rant
Absolutely.
about interviewing in jobs. That's basically what I had to say.
All right, you want to know my first job interview? Oh
Go
boy.
for it.
All right, and I will absolutely shit talk this place. Don't go to Tropical Smoothie. Don't buy from them. Don't whatever.
But they do have good smoothies though.
Yeah, but they're so overpriced. They keep ticking up the price. It's ridiculous. But my first legitimate job, technically my first job interview was when I was applying to be a counselor at a summer rec program. But like I don't really count that. I was like 13 and did most of it online anyway. My first my first in-person interview, I work at Jones Beach Theater over the summer. Obviously not this past summer because of Corona, but I hope that doesn't affect things from me saying that word because I know how on the internet, whatever.
No, I personally don't care.
Okay. What's it called? Like, I had the thing we're talking about that we hate so much. I had connections, and I basically was given the job at the theater, and they just wanted to do interview basically, which was really just to like say hi and then show us around the theater, because my mom is the hairdresser is the ladies hairdresser who like helps book venues, book the venue, like book Jones Beach Theater for concerts, like bands that come in to play there or artists. So they were opening up in 2018. They were starting a new group there called Sustainability, basically like recycling all the cans there instead of throwing them out. And like we'd go through the garbage and take all the cans and bottles out. They were really dirty, kind of clean them out a little bit, and we sit them
Yeah.
off. It was a whole cans for cancer thing. It's actually great. We did like over 50,000 cans our first year. I don't know the numbers on last year because I would have found out this year, but I know they were really high. Like we did way more last year than this year. That's thanks to my brother, really. But anyway, so that interview was kind of a formality. But my first interview was that summer, in end of August, middle of August, because I needed a job through the school year. I was starting freshman year of college, whatever. And one of my good girlfriends worked at Tropical Smoothie in Massapequa, across the street from my old high school. Well, now people know where I live, but I don't really. Well, they know the town I live in. They don't know my motherfucking house, and there's a million houses here, so they'll never find me.
No.
They'll never find me. So, what's it called? I went in, gave my application, and the manager, this asshole named Neil, who actually goes to Old Westbury. I'm sure he graduated by now, because he was like a few years ahead of me. He was going there for business or something, and oh yeah, no, he definitely was done. He did 2 years in Nassau, I think, if I remember. I have a good memory when it comes to some weird shit like that. And sorry,
No, you're good.
yeah, I don't know if you can cut that out, but whatever.
It doesn't matter. Let's go.
It doesn't matter. Who the fuck's gonna listen to this? I don't care. Anyway, so Neil and I sat down, we did the interview, and it was like those very standard like questions of like, like, have I worked before? Where have I worked? Like, how would I describe myself like as a worker? Like how do I work with other people? Am I a leader? Am I a follower? Like, do I like have initiative and blah blah blah? And I was very honest. Like, I consider myself, I'm very prideful of being a worker. Like, I'm a very good people person. I will lead when I can. I will follow when needed to as well. Like, I have a very strong streak when it comes to that. And whatever job I'm doing, I'll take it very seriously. Like, I'm very good to goof around with and great at work. But like, once I get comfortable doing whatever job it is, I'll obviously get a little more lax with it. And, like, joke around with my coworkers or whatever, and make it more of a fun environment for us when we're stressed out. But
Yeah.
I got fired there after a month, and they didn't really give me a reason. But I think it was just budgetary. Tropical Smoothie fires people all the time for no reason. One of my good friends who worked there, not the person who recommended me, but another girl I know, worked there.
Yeah.
She got fired after a year and a half because she was due for a pay raise, and they didn't want to give it to her, so they fired her.
Yeah, I can talk about my first job. Up there at Wall Bombs. Ooh, when that was a thing. Yeah. That was an interesting interview.
Oh my god.
It wasn't really an interview.
Oh, what was it then?
It was more of just like walking in. Hi, how are you? I want to apply for your deli position that's opened. Okay, here, just speak to the manager now. He's here. Oh, hi, how are you? Shake hands. Oh, he literally just asked, "Oh, are you good with working a deli slicer?" I said, "Yes." I want to learn that stuff. It seems fun.
Right.
I like cooking. And it's like, "Okay, you're hired." I'm like, "Cool."
That was it?
That was literally it. Like, I really didn't have a proper interview for my first job. And the thing is, because they closed, I got laid off. They were having problems. That was the whole A&B whatever company.
Isn't that the Wall Bombs, like, where the shop...
The ShopRite. The ShopRite.
ShopRite?
Yeah. I was hired there, and then I quit that, too.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, we're just going to cut your hours more and more and more. And we're not going to tell you why. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'll quit. But yeah, that was that situation. So that was my first job, though.
I mean, my first job was working at Summer Rec for the same camp I went to growing up. The first 2 years I worked as volunteer because I was 13 and 14. At 15 years old, I became a leader and got paid severely minimum. It was like, what, $5 an hour? I made like $850 for the summer, and it was 5 weeks, which is a lot for me at that time, but really, looking back on it, that's not a lot.
Wait, I just gotta bring this up. I know this is not related.
Yes.
But apparently, there's a new Phineas and Ferb movie.
What?
Yeah. They just announced a new Phineas and Ferb movie.
They're not Kim Possibling it, are they?
No, it's not live action.
Yeah, because, like, how the fuck would you do that? No, like...
How do you get a proper triangle head as, like, IRL?
With a face in front, how do you do those faces? Have you ever seen those memes of, like, the fucking Phineas and Ferb shit where, like, they make him look realistic what he would really look like? Bro, it's actually straight out of a motherfucking horror movie. Like, that shit is terrifying.
When does it come out? Oh, August 28th.
Wait, like this year?
Yeah, this year.
Wait, what the hell? Phineas and Ferb's done.
It's only on Disney Plus Original. Oh, so you actually have to get the subscription.
Oh my god, you hear what Disney Plus is doing? Like that fucking Milan movie that was supposed to hit theaters, but now it's not because of Corona.
Yeah, they put it on there.
Yeah, but you have to pay $30 to watch it, even if you're paying for Disney Plus.
Yeah, I know. It's so stupid.
What the fuck? Like,
it's like they're overcharging.
Because people who want to see the movie and don't own Disney Plus have to pay for Disney Plus and then pay another $30 just for Milan.
Like, Netflix doesn't do that. HBO Max doesn't do that.
Oh, that's just because Disney made the movie, so they want to see profit from it. That's why they're doing that.
Yeah, like...
But, like, people are going to buy Disney Plus now just to see the movie anyway. And why not, like, that's like a whole new precedent, and I really do not like that.
Yeah, like, there's no reason to overcharge on a platform like that. Like, if other companies aren't doing that, then why would you?
Yeah, and you know what else really bothers me, too? Like, the whole thing with overcharging, like, stupid, I will just say this out loud, and Mark already knows, I am a massive Office fan. One of my best friends, one of my really best friends, Rochelle. I doubt she's listening to this, but hi, Rochelle, love you. She's like my little sister. Like I would literally like take a bullet from that girl. During quarantine, she recommended for me to watch The Office, and I binged it in like 5 days, the whole thing, maybe 4 days, like season 1, episode 1 through season 9, episode 23, the whole shebang on Netflix. Did it, done, watched it nonstop, right? Like,
Yeah.
for 4 or 5 straight days. Didn't do schoolwork, just watched out. Got up morning every day, watched the whole thing morning through night, whole thing. I just sat there laughing my ass off for 4 or 5 days straight. Like, obviously, don't get me wrong, there's some cringy ass moments of The Office.
But
like,
most of them are really funny though.
Most of that shit's
no
great.
joke.
Like, oh no, it's one of the greatest sitcoms of all time, like hands down. Like, I don't care.
Better than
it was
Seinfeld.
made the perfect. Yeah, I mean, I love Jerry Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld. It was one of my favorites growing up watching it.
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld, Billy Crystal, Robin Williams, my 3 favorite comedians all time, hands down, no questions asked. I loved Robin Williams growing up because I watched a lot of his movies. I loved Billy Crystal growing up because I watched a lot of his movies. I loved Jerry Seinfeld because of Seinfeld growing up. I was never on the Friends bandwagon. I don't know why it's so popular. I really don't think it's that. I think it's overhyped, personally. And
It's like, Big Bang Theory. It's like Friends is just like that.
What the fuck? Okay, yeah, we're not even gonna get into that. Big Bang Theory is so overrated.
Yeah, we'll do that another time.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
anyway,
it'll be like 2-hour thing.
It's already an hour.
Yeah.
No, but with The Office, like, they're taking it off of Netflix after this year's over.
Mhm.
Like, NBC's gonna have another streaming thing, and that aggravates me. I'm gonna be so upset. I rewatch it all the time. Like, the rewatch value of The Office is phenomenal. I am an Office fanatic now. I doubt anyone's gonna really give a shit. I'm gonna give a shout out. Jenna Fisher, Angela Kinsey, they are absolutely incredible human beings, and they must be protected at all costs. Back in October or November of last year, I think it was October, they started a podcast called Office Ladies, and you know they go over each episode. They're like in the middle of season 3 right now. I actually listened to the episode they just put up yesterday. Like, they go through deep analysis of each episode, get behind the scene things, like how they were feeling. Like, they actually wrote journals, like, throughout the filming of the whole 9 seasons. So they actually, like, can look back on how they felt and thought during the time and, like, go back and reminisce and remember, like, oh, yeah. And, like, it's a great podcast. I love it. The 2 of them are so sweet. They're wonderful human beings. Like, actually, like, speaking of it, every single member of the Office cast I can think of on the top of my head are phenomenal human beings. John Krasinski, who played Jim. Rainn Wilson, who played Dwight. Steve Carell, obviously a phenomenal humanitarian. Jenna Fisher, who played Pam. Angela Kinsey, who played Angela Martin. Oscar Nunez, who played Oscar Martinez. And then Brian Baumgartner, who played Kevin. And then, oh my God, Creed Bratton, who played, well, himself. Ryan the Temp was played by, oh my God, the name is just escaping me. I can't remember. I'm so
I haven't
sorry.
seen it in a while.
Ellie Kemper, who plays Erin, is like my favorite character by far. Like, oh my God, the show, it's just so good for me. Like, okay, yes, I understand the seasons 8 and 9 are not as good after Steve left, but it is overall such an amazing show. Like, it just hits home. Like, it hits different. Like, I know it's not for everybody, but for the people who it hits and relates to, it's just great. Like there are so many iconic memes and moments from that show that'll never be recreated. Like, you can never do a reboot of The Office with other people playing the same characters. You cannot. Like, it's like the same thing. Like, you can't recast Iron Man because Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. You can't recast Indiana Jones because Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. Same thing with Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, or, and I know this might be controversial, or as Christian Bale as Batman. Sorry, Ben Affleck and fucking Twilight boy who's playing him now. Oh
Ben Affleck was good though. Ben Affleck better than Batman. I liked him.
Did not one bit.
I felt like he more suited the role.
Nope. Christian Bale was the best Batman. Heath Ledger will be the best Joker. Now, and that does
I do
not
agree with
discredit.
the Joker, though.
I do not discredit Joaquin Phoenix playing the Joker in his own solo movie. I call that its own thing. It's his own thing. he handled the Joker in such a beautiful way in the take that it was. It's one of my favorite solo villain movies. One of my favorite comic book movies, period, is that Joker piece.
I personally haven't seen
100%.
it, so I really can't say much about it.
You need to go sit down and watch it. Like, it's very, like,
Is it on
it's not
Netflix?
like no, actually, I don't know. It might be. Or that Hulu
I'll
or
check
something.
it out
I don't,
later.
like, it is absolutely worth to sit and watch, Mark. It is a very good movie. It actually ties very much into what's going on today. With,
All right, don't spoil it for me because I actually will watch it.
with society. Well, you know what the Joker is.
I know what the Joker is, yeah, but I just haven't watched that.
It's like
Actual
his,
movie.
it's like it's one of the takes on his origin story. Now, the one thing I will say, like, this was me going into the movie, is like the one thing I love how all over the field we're going with this podcast. The one thing to me about the Joker, which is so great, was in the comics, he didn't really have an origin. He doesn't have a backstory. Like, not like, I mean,
Not a
sure, there's been
proper
stuff
one.
written, not a proper one, no. And, like,
Silver Age really went more in depth of it. The Golden
Like-
Age, not so much.
I have personally never really read into the comics. I'm not a comic book nerd.
I am.
I've just done a lot of research on it on my own time, and I've heard lore through speaking with people. The same thing with me with Star Wars and Marvel, like all that stuff. I love it. I watch the movies. I know a lot of stuff from like internet, like YouTube or whatever. Like, I'm very much into it. I've just never bought comic books and read them. But like, I feel like if I actually did, I could get addicted and.
Then you just go to one of Matt Pat's film theories. It's not just a theory, a film theory.
Film theory.
Thanks for
Thanks for
watching.
watching. Oh, that man. I don't even want to give you my opinions on Matt Pat because they're a little controversial. But anyway, and that's not saying it's a good thing or bad thing. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. I'm not gonna say. That's up for the listener to
Decide.
assume. Yeah, no, but back to the Joker, like. He never like the origin story with him, like his wife leaving him or whatever, right? And then like him going crazy. It's just really cool. It's good. Like just him like not. It's so mysterious. Like I love Heath Ledger's take. It's like you want to know how I got these scars? And like the couple times he does, each time it's a different story about like his wife or then like his dad or whatever, right? Like. It's like he doesn't like properly say like, oh, this is the reason why. Like it just I feel like he's there for chaos's sake. Like the whole thing in that it's the Dark Knight. It's is it just the Dark Knight, that movie it's called, right?
Yeah, it's called The Dark
But
Knight.
yeah, because there's Batman Begins and then it's the Dark Knight and it's the Dark Knight Rises, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like the Batman Begins is a good movie. Like it's solid. I think the Dark Knight's the best of the trilogy. And then the sequel to that, like the end, the wrap up of it, I think was just handled very well as well. Like I honestly think like that should be considered canon. Like I wish if DC was gonna take seriously of making a competitive DCU, like how Marvel was the MCU in the movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the DCCU, like the a DC's cinematic universe, whatever the hell you call it.
DCEU.
The DC, what the hell was it?
Well,
Entertainment?
that's what it's entertainment, yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean DCU. Like, if they did it with Christian Bale and oh god, Heath Ledger didn't pass away, man. That would have been so much fun to watch him and Christian Bale fight on screen. Oh man, like I'm not even just talking about Heath Ledger purely as the Joker actor. I know he did like a couple movies before playing the Joker, and like it's like he played that role so well. Like I feel like there could have been he had so much untapped potential as an actor that we'll never know what he would have done with his career, which I think is a shame. It really is. Like I know some people might not understand this comparison or get it, but like I kind of compare him to Evan Peters a little bit. Do you know who Evan Peters is, Mark?
I do not.
Evan Peters plays he's a part of the cast of American Horror Story. And he's been on every season except season 9. And rumors are he's coming back for production for season 10 with Miss Sarah Catherine Paulson, who, by the way, also love her. She was literally on every season except season 9 as well. I don't know if you ever watched American Horror Story. It's a great show. Actually, the first time I ever saw Evan Peters act, fun fact is going to loop back to The Office. Evan Peters plays Michael's nephew in the season premiere of season 7. Like the little shit nephew who's an asshole, and then Michael Scott spanks him and he cries, and he runs out of the office crying like a little bitch. That's Evan Peters. And he's so young in that too. And I don't know if you know out there who don't watch American Horror Story. I don't know, because horror's not for everybody. I used to be scared shitless of horror growing up, but I really got into it now. Like, I love it. I love horror. American Horror Story, each season is a different story. Like, it's not like one continuous story like, any other show. It's an anthology. So, season 1 is Murder House. Like, it takes place in a house that had a lot of murders in it. Season 2 is Asylum, where it takes place at Briarcliff Manor in Massachusetts during the 1960s, and it flashes back between modern day at the time, which was like 2011, 2012, whatever, and the 1960s, like showing like, history repeats itself, blah, blah, blah. Season 3 is The Coven, which is about these witches. It's a cool thing. Season 4 is Freak Show, which takes place in the 50s, and it's about like this lady played by Jessica Bange, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Whoops.
Is the Cult. Season 8 is the Apocalypse, and then season 9 is the Slasher, which is AHS 1984, like the camp or whatever with Mr. Jingles. Every season is phenomenal, and it's all within the same universe. But to get back to my main point, Evan Peters plays a different character. Like the cast, a lot of the cast comes back and plays different characters in the same universe. Like season 1, he plays Tate Langdon, who's the love interest for Violet in the show in season 1, and he's like a really
spoilers, by the way.
It doesn't matter. That's not spoiling it. Trust me. Literally the first episode, like love interest, like you already know. Season 2, he plays Kit Walker, who is arrested for being Bloodyface. He's wrongly accused of being Bloodyface, and you find out who the real Bloodyface is during season 2. I won't say who, because spoilers. Season 3, he plays another love interest for the same actress who played Violet in season 1, but it's different how it's handled. Season 4, he plays excuse me. Sorry, I'm talking so much.
You good?
Season 4, he plays the guy Jimmy, who has lobster hands for like his freak, his freak show, like his disability, his deformity. Season 5, he plays James March, who's who made the Hotel Cortez. Season 6, he plays Mott guy who built the Roanoke Manor. Season 7, he plays Kai, who creates the cult. Season 8, he actually has multiple roles. He plays like the gay guy, whatever, in the beginning of it, who gets killed off, and then he plays another character in a flashback with a really dumb coconut haircut. And then he's not in it in season 9. But Evan Peters, like his range of how crazy he is or whatever, like it really reminds me of Heath Ledger. It really does. I'm not saying he's as good as Heath Ledger, but my point is like he reminds me of like a Heath Ledger kind of actor.
Huh?
Like he's just that good of an actor. Like, and Evan Peters, like, he's known for American Horror Story, but I feel like he could, if he wanted to, he could absolutely get into do other stuff, and he would absolutely kill it. Excuse me, I apologize.
You good?
That's a burp.
But anyway, I think it's good enough time to wrap this up.
Oh yeah! Wow.
We're gonna wrap it up. So where can they follow you?
Oh, my Instagram is my name, which is Jonathan_Seaback. My last name is Seeback.
I will put it in the description below.
Yeah. I don't like my Snapchat. I kind of keep private.
Yeah, Snapchat you don't have to share.
Twitter I don't really use.
So basically, just follow his Instagram.
Yeah, just follow Instagram. What's poppin'? Brandon Whip, just Johnson.
Get him more followers.
Yeah, I have like 900 now. One day
Get
I'll
them
say
to
my account's
1,000. That's the goal.
No, no, I don't care. I literally don't give a shit about my followers. I don't care. The only reason why I haven't even have the amount I have is just literally from high school, like growing up, like in that, like that culture, right? Only reason why I have the following I have, like, and I wouldn't even consider it a big following. Like I have some girlfriends of mine who have like 1,500 or 2,000 because you know how many boys want to follow them. You'll get that
Oh,
pussy in
yeah.
the DMs. Oh yeah, like I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about likes. I don't give a shit about. It's a popularity contest. I don't give a fuck. I just post what I want. I don't really post on there. I don't really care. I do answer DMs though, so I
Don't
mean,
be
not right
creepy.
away, but
That's all you need to know.
don't be creepy. Yeah, don't do
right.
that. I'll
Well,
report
anyway,
you.
you know where you guys can follow me, and goodbye,
This
guys.
has been real, and
Yeah.
now you
Maybe
know
in the
what
future.
really grinds my gears, and I would love to come back on if you would have me.
Of
And,
course. Maybe we'll
yeah,
do a
just-
3-way rant.
Oh my God! Wait, no. Before we go, I know we just said we're gonna wrap it up, but I would love to have a sports podcast, like one episode.
Just sports?
Where we rant. Where we rant
We
about
can ask Jared to
sports
come
culture.
on. You guys can just go off about the Washington football team.
Yeah.
I can't
yes!
even. I can't
Yes!
even. We'll discuss that another
Please.
time, though.
Yes, please. Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. I would absolutely love that.
All right.
Yes.
Well, we'll see you guys next time. Take
All
care.
right. Love y'all. Take care. All right. Bye bye.